Welcome back to the GSMC Hockey Podcast presented by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm back with the second segment of the night talking updated trade rumors, and I do apologize. That was a little bit off-centered, annoying me. Probably annoyed you guys as well. But updated trade rumors. I had a comment in my last segment talking about Ottawa Senators and if a rumor between Brady Tkachuk and going to the New Jersey Devils had any weight to it. I don't believe it could. Like I said, he is too important for this team. The guy's going to be playing for Team USA next season, so I couldn't imagine that they are trying. I couldn't imagine that would be true. I'm looking up at an article right now. Senator GM denies rumors of team looking to trade Brady Tkachuk, which is good because that'd be insane. Ottawa Senators general manager Steve Staios shot down rumors that the team is looking to trade captain Brady Tkachuk. Yeah, I mean, there's who would they get back in a trade? Nobody is what I'm saying. But there are some big trade rumors that definitely do have a little bit of weight to them. One of the biggest ones that I've seen recently is Aaron Ekblad. Assistant captain for the Florida Panthers. I've seen that he could be on the move from Florida, which would be insane. So the original rumor was for the Florida Panthers to maybe move him because they wanted to trade up, or they wanted to move him because they wanted to re-sign Brandon Montour, but they didn't do it. Brandon Montour is now on the Seattle Kraken, but I'm looking at an article from thehockeynews.com that is saying that there might still be a little bit of weight to it. During a Tuesday interview with a TSN reporter and an ESPN reporter was asked about rumors that the Florida Panthers could move Aaron Ekblad to free up cap space. The 28-year-old defenseman has a year remaining on his contract with $7.5 million on that contract. He also has a 12-team no-trade list. Emily Kaplan, who is the ESPN reporter, said it's difficult for the Panthers to keep their roster together despite the players being willing to accept less than market value to stay in Florida, which is true. Aaron Ekblad deserves way more than $7.5 million. She also pointed out their front office is unafraid to make hard decisions. That's very true. Bill Zito, the general manager for the Florida Panthers, has in the past traded superstars on their team to get better. Jonathan Huberdeau, ring a bell. While unable to confirm the Ekblad trade rumors, Kaplan indicated the Panthers are aggressive and it wouldn't surprise her if they moved the blue liner for a return that improved the team. Ekblad first surfaced in the speculation and rumor on June 2nd about the Brandon Montour stuff that I talked about. Nevertheless, the speculation persisted during late June as free agency approached on June 27th. David Duwork, who is a hockey news writer, cited the fourth period's Dave Pagnotta claiming the Panthers were shopping Ekblad. 3 days later, Rob Couch referenced Pagnotta saying the blue liner was willing to accept a hometown discount to stay in Florida, but the Panthers were shopping him anyway. This is really crazy. I mean, this is an assistant captain of a team that just won the Stanley Cup, potentially moving. Like, this doesn't happen very often. He also only makes $7.5 million. For Aaron Ekblad, he's definitely worth more. But when you look at his stats, right, when you look at just GA, which don't tell the story for a defenseman, it's not great. And when you look at his plus minus, which could tell a little bit better about the story for a defenseman, it's also not that great. So it's a shock, but it's not the wrong decision. And then the Panthers aren't under any serious pressure to trade Ekblad. They're above the $88 million salary cap by almost $1 million. With 24 active roster players under contract, management can easily address that issue by demoting a low salary depth player or two to the minors before the start of the season. So that's no problem. But they definitely do need to move on from somebody, right? When you look at the Florida Panthers and what this team is doing, it's this entire offseason was bring the band back together who we wanted to bring back, right? When we look at the Florida Panthers contract, and I'm pulling it up right now, capfriendly.com does not exist anymore, so I have to find different ways to find this stuff. But When you look at the contracts, I mean, they have $10 million in Alexander Barkov. You cannot move Alexander Barkov. He has 6 more years remaining. Matthew Tkachuk makes $9.5 million. You can't move Matthew Tkachuk. Sam Reinhart has 8 years, just signed his 8 by 8.625 deal this offseason. Anton Lundell signed for a 6-year deal for $5 million AAV. And, Sam Bennett still has money on his contract. Carter Verhaeghe has $4 million. Evan Rodriguez has $3 million. Eetu Lehtinen, who they just re-signed, has $3 million on his contract. And then they have defensemen like Gustav Forsling, 5.75. Nico Mikola, 2.5. Dmitry Kulikov, 1.15. Like, it all definitely does add up. And then they have the Sergei Bobrovsky $10 million contract as well. Getting pieces like Adam Bachfist for $775,000 is huge. Getting pieces like they got both Bachfist. They got Adam Bachfist and Jesper Bachfist, both for $775,000. Big discounts for those guys. And then they also have players like Mackie Samoskevich, who is on a ELC still, who definitely could be on their roster next season. Rasmus Asplund, who could be on their roster next season. So the team looks very good, right? The team, there is no problem. And when you look at it, are they going to be able to re-sign Aaron Ekblad next season? Probably not. You have Sam Bennett that comes up next year. Carter Verhaeghe comes up next year. Both of them probably want to stay in Florida, I would imagine. I couldn't imagine why they wouldn't want to stay in Florida. So they're definitely going to need to spend some money on them. Is Aaron Ekblad the guy that leaves in Florida? Definitely, possibly. I wouldn't be shocked. Other big pieces that could be on the move this offseason. We've talked about him all offseason. It's Martin Necas for the Carolina Hurricanes. Still on the team, right? He filed for arbitration, which means that he probably will play for them next year, which I'm shocked. For how, like, it felt like they burned some bridges going into this offseason. In an article from, I believe this is from July 2nd, from after the NHL draft, it's written that he became a hot topic of media trade chatter following the Hurricanes' elimination for the playoffs, that he was unhappy with his role on the team. It was assumed Eric Tolsky, the Hurricanes' new general manager, would move Martin Necas before or during the recent 2024 NHL draft, and then another Blue Jackets and two Blue Jackets beat writer, Jason Newland and Elliot Freeman, both said that the Hurricanes wanted to move Martin Necas to the Blue Jackets for the 4th overall pick. That deal didn't get done because Martin Necas didn't want to sign in Columbus, so the sign and trade couldn't work out. So can he still be on the move? Honestly, by this point, I would be shocked if he was on the move this offseason. I can't imagine him not playing for the Hurricanes next year. However, looking forward, I would be shocked if he was on the team, in the future. I believe he only is eligible for a 1-year contract from an arbitrator. So when the deal does come to, when they do come to an agreement from both parties, he's only allowed to get a 1-year deal, which is definitely interesting to say the least. If you were the Hurricanes, you want to sign him for a longer term, so you don't have to go through all of this next season. But it seems like they're gonna have to go through it next season. Some other NHL trade rumors. Like Jacob Trouba. It seems like he won't be on the move. We saw what happened with his wife saying, I want to finish my residency in New York, and Jacob Trouba having a no-move clause. So that just wasn't able to get done, and it does make sense. I am shocked about the lack of trades this offseason. We knew that the goalie markets were going to be moving around like crazy. We saw Ullmark go. We saw Jacob Markstrom go. We saw Anthony Stolarz go to Toronto. So we did see the movement in the goalie market that we expected. But when it comes to everything else, we're not seeing we're not seeing moves that we usually see in the offseason, right? We've grown accustomed to off seasons where big pieces get traded because there's a problem with a team here or there. And I guess this is kind of just going to boil over to the trade deadline, and I would be shocked to see, Jacob Trouba is not going to go anywhere. The deal with the Detroit Red Wings fell through. Martin Necas isn't going to go anywhere. The deal with the Columbus Blue Jackets fell through. Aaron Ekblad isn't going to go anywhere just yet. I would be shocked if the Florida Panthers get anything for him. I mean, Bill Zito's looking at it like, if we keep him, we're not going to trade him at the deadline, so we're just going to get nothing for him when he inevitably walks in free agency next year. And that's a hard pill to swallow for a defenseman you drafted number 1 overall 11 years ago, going to be 12 years ago when it does come, or no, it will be 11 years ago when it comes to next offseason. That's a hard pill to swallow if you're Bill Zito, but is it just worth it because you're trying to win a cup next season and you don't want to lose a number 1 defenseman because you wanted to get something for him? It does make sense. It's gonna be interesting to see what Bill Zito does. Once again, Emily Kaplan, the ESPN reporter, did say that Bill Zito has a long history of making cutthroat decisions to benefit the Florida Panthers. This could be another one. But that'll wrap it up for the updated trade rumors. When I come back with my third segment of the night, we're going to be talking about worst NHL jerseys of all time, one of my favorite subjects to talk about in hockey. So I'll be back from my second break, and that will be the topic.
Looking for your daily fix of sports talk without having to pay for it? GSMC Sports Network is available on YouTube. Just search GSMC